The president is accusing the governors of stealing funds meant for local government development. The governors are accusing the federal government of being the cause or of failing to address the problem of insecurity in the country. We're always at the top of negative indices: poverty, corruption, name it. So it is at this kind of moment when everybody thinks that almost every Nigerian is corrupt, to the extent that corruption today is running and Nigerians are chasing corruption. And we now had someone who was in his office and corruption knocks at his door to present itself, but that person rejected. So I think our presence here is very, very important. We have no regret to be here because we are here to appreciate somebody that we want all Nigerians to emulate, because the issue of corruption has no border today. In every sector, even in our household, in our family levels, there's corruption, because corruption does not start and end with receiving or giving money. Mr. Chairman, sir, ladies and gentlemen, the main objectives of this event are three. Number one, to amplify a good story of something good that happened at a time that some people think that civil society organizations only blackmail, make noise when people do something bad. Oftentimes I hear people say, you only make noise when somebody makes a mistake. So that is not the only approach of the work of civil society organizations. Also, if somebody does good, we appreciate that person. So as we name and shame, we also name and praise. So we want to present that aspect to the public so that people understand how civil society organizations work. The second objective, Mr. Chairman, is to debunk an idea or a belief that an average police officer in Nigeria is corrupt. We hope to change this perception by telling the world that there are thousands of police and other security officers that are clean and credible, who are discharging their duties based on the established guidelines of their profession. The third objective, Mr. Chairman, is to awaken our lost hope of having a better tomorrow. I don't hide it. I almost take it personal whenever I see a young person performing better. So today, if you see what young people are doing, the like of Abdurrashid Bawa, recently we have seen the number of prosecutions the commission has achieved. The like of the recipient of today's award. So it gives us hope that the future of our children and grandchildren is brighter. And it also gives hope to the people who have proven integrity, like the chairman of this event, like the former Minister Solomon Dalon, that they are not going to leave behind a hopeless society. Having people like the recipient of this award today, I'm sure will give them confidence that the future of Nigeria is brighter. Ladies and gentlemen, because of the time factor, I want to thank you for identifying with us, for sparing your time to be with us at this time, and we hope we will continue to bring the good side of our country. Just last week I was having a conversation with a very good friend from Nairobi, Kenya, who is MNT of the Professor Paul Patrick Lumumba's foundation. When I told him of this development, he said, look, Kabiru, after your 14th of December event in Nigeria, we are going to organize a virtual program across the region to celebrate this outstanding young man. So this is to tell you the story of what this gentleman has done is beyond the borders of Nigeria. We have taken the news to our regional partners, to our global partners, and this is a good news, this is a good story that we'll continue to share with our partners all over the world. Where we are asked to share good story, where we are not even asked to share good story of Nigeria, we will share with the people around the world, so that to tell the world that the Nigeria of today, no matter how bad people think we are, the good ones exist. The good ones will continue to exist. The good ones will continue to encourage other people to be good. With these short remarks, Mr. Chairman, I thank everybody for honoring our invitation, and I hope we'll have a fruitful discussion, especially having the fact that we carefully selected the speaker of today's event. We carefully selected the discussant of today's event. The speaker of the event is our lecturer. He doesn't only teaches integrity, he also practices integrity. So I congratulate you for being part of the audience of today's lecture, and I wish you a successful and fruitful deliberation. Thank you very much.
So please recognize him by giving him another round of applause. He's such a very wonderful young man who really believes in a human sanctity that preserves. Thank you so much. May I, Mr. Chairman, very quickly recognize our nominees. The Commissioner 1 of the Kano State Public Complaint Commission, Alhaji Rabi Yusuf. Please, a round of applause for him. You're very welcome. Let us also appreciate the nominees, the representative of the Managing Director of Karota Kano, Honorable Nasir Othman. Please, a round of applause for him. Having said this, we now proceed to distinguish, ladies and gentlemen. Now, having heard from Lakca, it is a privilege on my part to, on this note, invite a very dedicated and selfless person, a man of the people, very kind and generous, and indeed a man of integrity. No doubt today he stands to champion because of this occasion, by being the chairman of this occasion, and indeed someone that will sharpen from his wealth of knowledge and experience as he gives us a keynote address today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Professor of Hematology, Oncology, and former Executive Secretary, National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS. The U.S. Keynote address, Professor Osman Yusuf. Professor.
Thank you all very much, and I will stand on the existing protocol. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was ambushed literally 2 days ago by the organizers of this event. I was in Kano 3 days ago. They said, well, can you do this? I said, okay, I'll do it. And I'm supposed to be the chairman, no keynote address. Today it's not about me, or any one of us here in the crowd. It's about Assistant Commissioner of Police Daniel Ite Am, a person we must all celebrate, a person that represents who we are as a people. Ladies and gentlemen, I've always said, the way we are in Nigeria is not what we want, or what we have become. This country, Nigeria, has given my generation more than I think I will give back. That was why my fight to the NHIS, honestly, was for me doing God's work. This is an agency, the NHIS, that has a tendency to touch the lives of millions of our people. But because of corruption, this is what I found. And I was intimately related to the uniformed services. The Nigerian police has the largest HMO. The military, they have their own HMO too. There was one day I was traveling in my big convoy. You know when you're a guy, you have a huge convoy of black SUVs. We were going to jobs. And then at the roadblock, the sergeant said, he was talking to the guy in front, that because we have NHIS on our, then he was screaming, I'll tell you, Oga, these people are not doing well. So I asked him to park. Oga's you don't see Oga's car, and it's all tinted dark. I called him, he came. The window went down and he saluted. I said, Sergeant, what's the problem? He told me. He was transferred from somewhere in the east, Anambra. He came to the plateau on special duty. Left his family there. The family went with the children. The child was sick, took him to the hospital, and the HM was refused to pay. So he had to pay himself. So I asked him, give me the name of the HMO and all that, and he said no. And I said, meet me in the office the next day. How much did you spend? You spent X amount. So HMO, why did you do this for him? Oh yeah, it's because of this. I say, call this sergeant, apologize to him, pay him, refund all he has paid. And I see that all over. I said, listen. And they keep sending my number all over. Now we get a phone call from this, from that. I went to the IG. I say, IG sir, we are sending our men in uniform into harm's way. We are not taking care of their families. How do you expect an officer we put in harm's way, and his child or his wife are sick, and we're not taking care? How do you expect him to function? We sorted that out. The same, the military started getting calls from soldiers in Goza, all over the place. I went to General Buratai Bank. So, ladies and gentlemen, the fight against corruption is a serious fight. When I went to the NHIS, they said, you want to remain in peace in that place? Don't rock the boat. And I told them, I'm not there to rock the boat, I'm here to sing the boat. I'm here to sing. And my fight in the NHIS is public, so we don't have to rehash that. We fought it, and I continue to fight it. My wife and children say, okay, you pull us out to the United States, we've been living there all our lives, you brought us into this country, that is not appreciating whatever you do. Why are you putting us through this? There was one day I come, so I stopped going home with newspapers. Because each day I go home, my wife is reading news, oh, they said today you stole 5 billion, or 3 billion, oh. I didn't know she was keeping record. Today, Sahara reporter saying it's told 9 billion. So I told her, 9 billion, they don't even know how to count. And she looked at me. It's 19 billion. So I was joking with her. I said, remember that house we used to live? When the overhead tank fills up, what does it do? Water flows down. You say, how about this new house we moved? Have you ever had that water flowing down? So no, that's where the money is. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is not how we were brought up. The way we were brought up, you go to school, you pick a penny, you take it to the headmaster. That's how we were brought up. We've lost touch. We have gone astray, led by our leaders. ACP, Daniel, Peter, Amma have shown us that amongst us, we still have people like him. Gives us hope. We must be grateful to all our men and women in uniform. Without them, we cannot be here to talk. We will not sleep with our two eyes closed. Time like this, when Nigeria is going through the worst insecurity of our lifetime, our men and women in uniform are at the front line, making all of this possible for us. We must appreciate them and not blind to. We criticize them when they deserve criticism. We praise them when they do. Assistant Commissioner of Police has shown us the Nigerian police has good ambassadors like him, and many more like him that we will never know. We need to keep seeking them and show them as the diamonds in the rough. They are the ones that represent real policing in this country. We're very proud of him and will continue to fight. Ladies and gentlemen, the fight against corruption is not theirs alone, all of us. That's what our scripture enjoins us to do. Do the right thing. Regardless of your faith, we all grew up in this country where things were okay. The leaders of our time invested in us. Not flyovers. They invested in us and sent us to school. We did not pay a penny from primary to secondary school. We went into the world and competed favorably in some of the best centers in the world. We are back to give our hope back to this country. For us, but for our children and grandchildren. The fight against corruption is not easy, but it's doable. We've done that, we'll continue to do that. I thank you all very much, and I thank ACP, Daniel, Ite, Amma. Give them a round of applause.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Who would have been here because of the importance attached to this type of issue. He directed the Commissioner of Police and the states to represent him. But he himself is on his way to Abuja to attend the IGP conference. That is why I'm here. I'm the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of administration, Kano State Police Command. I want to start by thanking the organizers of this occasion for trying to project the police in a good light. As somebody earlier stated, the police is known for all the bad things in the country. We are corrupt, we are not efficient, we don't do what we are expected to do. Thank God, CAJA is recognizing one of us who has distinguished himself and recognized president and other good-spirited individuals, organizations, both within and outside the country. It is an eye-opener, an open secret, that we have a lot of Daniel Ite Ama in the Nigerian police force. It's just that they've not been recognized. I want to inform all of you that police will eschew corruption in all its ramifications. The present IG is a man of integrity. He has zero tolerance to corruption. And that is what he has been sounding, lecturing all the men. We don't condone corruption. Anyone that is involved, we show him the way out by dismissing the person and prosecuting. We don't spare anybody. Police is one of the few organizations that expose its men, officers and men, whenever they are involved in corruption. Once we know, we expose you, we dismiss you, and make sure that you are prosecuted if need be. So please celebrate us. Criticize us when we are supposed to be criticized. Praise us when we are supposed to be praised. And that is why we are happy with CAJA. CAJA, we thank you very much. I want to also tell us that policing is very difficult and it's everybody's business. The government of the day is doing everything possible to ensure that all the needs of the police are provided. But it is also your responsibility, you and me, to ensure that we perform our duty well by supporting the police. Security is everybody's business. Security is everybody's business. Please, don't corrupt security agents, because that is one of our problems. Because the giver and the taker of crime, they are all what? Offenders. Don't try to corrupt us. Members of the public should refrain from bribing the police. So we do everything possible to make sure that we do our job. You support us, we do our job. Because we are your police. Police is a reflection of the society. Show me your police, then I'll tell you who you are. So we are trying our best. The Inspector General of Police is trying his best to ensure that we all eschew corruption in all its ramifications. I know the Inspector General of Police personally. Before he becomes the Inspector General of Police, I've worked with him severally. He's a man of integrity. And we have so many officers who are men of integrity. But in every organization, you have bad heads. And we do everything to make sure that we show them the way out. So we promise you that we have so many Daniel Ama, but don't try to corrupt us, members of the board. So thank you once again, CAJA, for recognizing us, and we do everything possible that we project our image and continue to project our image positively. Thank you and God bless.
appreciate it more. And a round of applause for justifying the confidence in him by portraying the some qualities of the Nigerian police to all of us. Thank you. May I, on this note, recognize the armies of the representative of the VIOs in Kano, National Borough. Please, a round of applause for him. He is a principal road traffic officer. Having him in our midst moves us to our second to follow, or what we call goodwill messages. In our midst, I can feel from a distance whenever the organization name sounds, you find the hearts of so many shaking, because we do have the good, the bad, and the uglies. But the uglies and the birds feel that whenever they hear the words goes with EFCC. Yes. No wonder when I called on the EFCC gentleman to come on board, our elder, our mentor, an astute politician, sitting next to him, look at him aside in a joking way. I hope you are not with the humble, because anyway, you used to have a humble with him. I laughed within my heart and I said, yes, almost a no play, they said, make a jack, a do boy. And I really appreciate our mentor, Taron, for doing that to inform the EFCC that yes, you guys are doing the best, and we are really appreciating your efforts in fighting crime and criminality in Nigeria. To justify what the EFCC does, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the chairman, a very young, hard working and vibrant young man whom I always describe as a champion of crime in Nigeria, because when he was appointed by the President of the Republic of Nigeria, most people, by looking at him as a very young man, they've never believed that he can achieve what he is achieving today. Forgetting that age and what? Nothing. But here, what we have upstairs is what matters. Those who believe in juju, and those who believe in malams, and some other negative things they could, they started throwing a lot of things to him, to the extent that one day we just saw him trying to sit down. But we just say, Inna lillahi. And Allah accepted it. Before you know it, Bawa was on his feet again. And Bawa is still alive, doing the right thing to Nigeria and Nigerians. But the love he has for CAJA, and it is the good people of Kano. He sent not only one person, but almost about 3 people to come here and share what they do. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, representing the Chairman, Economic and Financial Crime Commission in our midst, EFCC Kano, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, put it up for the Deputy Zonal Commander Kano, Mr. Sunday Atiba of Femo. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, just permit me to stand on the existing protocol. But also permit me again to personally recognize the comrade, Honorable Taron, former Minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria. I want to bring you greetings from my executive chairman, Mr. Abrashiba. He had made plans to be here himself because of the importance he attached to this gathering. But because of some serious financial engagement, he couldn't come himself. And he asked us to come here with a powerful delegation. And here we are this morning. I want to start by appreciating CAJA for deeming it very necessary and good to put up this occasion in honor of somebody who has demonstrated a very high level of integrity that has not just only been heard everywhere in Nigeria, but has transcended beyond the shores of our country. CAJA is one civil society organization that my chairman has serious regard for, because of the role we know civil society play in building an enviable, lasting, and enduring society. Civil society role in stable democracy. Civil society role in developing nations cannot be overemphasized. And this is what I've seen this morning here being displayed. We commend those who need to be commended. We also criticize those who need to be criticized. And the power of law enforcement or security agencies in any country determines how far that country can go in terms of fighting corruption and promoting development. Once more, I want to thank on behalf of my executive chairman, the CAJA, for what they have done today. They are not just doing it to Mr. Daniel, ACP. They are doing it to all the police. They are doing it to all the law enforcement agencies in Nigeria, to encourage us to do more, doing our job with integrity. Because they say he that must come to equity must come with hands. You cannot be a corrupt law enforcement officer and expect to have a corruption-free society. The theme of this occasion today, promoting integrity as a way of fighting corruption, is something that is dear and at the forefront of EFCC's mandate. That is why we celebrate CAJA for this singular honor done to one of us. I would just praise CAJA without also praising my colleague who has demonstrated integrity beyond measure. And for some of us who are security officers here, we are encouraging all of us to take that behavior, that attitude of all of us as a way of life, because it is exemplary. I'm also encouraging the youth, because I've seen that the audience is mostly populated by the youth. I'm encouraging you today to see the reason why we are here as something that is exemplary. That if you do well, you can be celebrated. My chairman, the executive chairman of EFCC, Abrashiba, was not made the executive chairman of EFCC by coincidence. He has demonstrated that his work is honest. That is why today he is the executive chairman of the EFCC. And he should be a shining light to most of us who are young people in this world. Since his assumption in office, just between January alone till this moment I'm speaking here, the EFCC has secured well over 3,287 convictions. This is unprecedented, not only in the history of the EFCC, it's unprecedented in the history of law enforcement in Nigeria. That within a year, there is a law enforcement agency in Nigeria that will secure 3,287 convictions. These convictions go across all strata or all departments of EFCC. We have convictions from bank fraud, we have convictions from public sector corruption, we have convictions from land and property fraud, we have convictions from cyber crime, we have convictions from all manner of offenses that borders on economic and financial crime. And I want to also use this opportunity to talk to the youths who are here. Most of these convictions are in cybercrime and advanced fraud related offenses, which mostly youths are involved in. You can live a good life with integrity, living your life in a manner that it becomes an example to others. Hard work pays. And because of the level of corruption in Nigeria, we have no good hospitals, we have no good roads, we have no good power, we have no employment for our youth, and all manner of underdevelopment. Not because we do not have resources. What has put us where we are today as a nation is corruption, nothing else. And corruption will continue to thrive as long as we put in bad leaders in positions of authority to manage our resources and affairs. I won't leave this stage without telling us that we owe ourselves a duty to fight corruption. And corruption can be fought by the type of leaders we empower to lead us. 2023 is already coming. We are not politicians. But the more the citizens own the fight against corruption, the less work the law enforcement agencies have to do. There are so many ways, strategies we have devised to fight corruption. And citizens are the center of the fight against corruption or insecurity. The police, the military, the EFCC, we are not witches and wizards, we are not magicians. We do all we do to reduce corruption based on information, intelligence we gather from the citizens. Upon assumption of office, my present executive chairman, who is a digital chairman, saw need for us to bring technology into fighting corruption. Many of us may not be aware. A lot of us have been scared in reporting those that are corrupt, reporting those who are perpetuating economic and financial crime because of the repercussion you may get. And that's why we say, if you fight corruption, corruption will always fight back. But we have devised several strategies that Nigerians can partner with us in fighting corruption. One of those strategies is the Eagle Eye that was developed by the EFCC. The Eagle Eye is an app. It's an electronic app that if you go to your Play Store, you can download it. If you download the app right in your bedroom, right in your kitchen, you can report a case of corruption to the EFCC without you putting yourself in any harm's way. Once you develop that, once you download that app, it gives you a large range of facilities to apply. The local government chairman who was just voted yesterday, who had no bicycle, suddenly started driving jeep. You of course know that it's not his salary. You know. Because politics is coming, politicians will come and award roles. They will bring bulldozer there and just open the place and abandon it. Monies have gone. EFCC is not in everywhere. How are you going to report that? The eagle eye is there. Just go there, download. It will show you a place where you can snap picture. It can also show you a place where you can tell the story. This road has been started for more than 3 years. It's still here, nothing is happening. As you snap the picture, you build a small story, you press send. EFCC has received it. So, there are several ways we can help ourselves if we feel we are tired of corruption. Many of us, we clap, we celebrate those who have engaged, who have lived their life with proceeds of corruption. And the essence of this eagle eye is for us to be able to monitor proceeds of corruption. Proceeds of corruption is the oxygen for corruption. It fuels and perpetuates corruption. When you know if you steal, you can enjoy it, you will not only continue in it, you will advise others to do it as a way of life. Recently, it was all over the media, EFCC auctioning proceeds of crimes that have been finally forfeited. If a man knows that if he steals, if he engages in an act of corruption, the proceeds he will get out of it, he cannot enjoy it, I am sure he will stop. Because that is the oxygen. So we are all duty bound. Apart from coming here this morning to celebrate our brother, we are encouraging all of us to partner with law enforcement agencies. Take advantage of this eagle eye that is available to report crime, so that we can have enough resources to develop our country. Thank you very much.
Yes, it does it as expected. I'm so glad we are. Having said this, permit me very quickly to recognize Namis, representative of the Giants Bank, led by the Public Relations Officer, Ibrahim J. Arai. Please round of applause for them. Now, we have done diligent talking. And we've been impacted so well that bring us to where we shall lend our 2 ears to those carefully selected by CAJA to impart a lot of sound knowledge on how to fight corruptions. Going by what is on the board, promoting integrity as a way of fighting corruption is the crux of the matter, which is the theme of this occasion. And I believe the choice of the two discussants as well as the guest speaker is well deserved. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before I go straight to the speaker, there are two people who will discuss the paper immediately after his presentation. And the first person, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, who will discuss this paper is very, very well known to all of us as distinguished Nigerians who always believe in the sanctity of the unity of Nigeria and Nigerians. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the person in question is indeed one time. No, sir. I won't go straight. Let me do it this way. Is indeed, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a one-time prison assistant a one-time chairman of Albon, a one-time chairman of Lantang local government, a one-time advisor emeritus to the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, an astute politician, a lawyer by profession, and indeed academician, whose track records saw him to an immediate past Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport Development of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And indeed, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that person is very, very dedicated, selfless, and indeed a man who believes in the sanctity of humanity. Please join me as we recognize the person of Solomon Salka Dalon, a woman Otorok, meaning the thunder of Taron, Nafa. Please, a round of applause for him. The second person to do this discussion today, I'll come to you, sir. The second person to discuss this paper, to discuss the presentation, is another advocate of integrity, peace, and accountability at all the times, and indeed good governance, anytime, anywhere. He has never been tired of advocating such in his life. No doubt today, he said, even though I'm so committed to so many things where I am, but please, when the time comes, put me via Zoom so that people will hear from me. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, referring to no one else but the Director, Civil Society, in person of Malam Awal Musa Rafsanjani. Please, a round of applause and thank you. Thank you very much. As we move on, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, joining us, as you can rightly see, is the gubernatorial aspirants. One of the gubernatorial aspirants in Kano, former commissioner, an astute politician, and indeed very kind and generous, Honorable Bala Mohammed Bokorwa. Please, a round of applause for him. So you are most welcome to people. And I always ask him, and I said, Madam, it's not easy lecturing from here and there, and as well as making presentation at the time of needs. How do you feel? He said, Mohammed, I always feel comfortable. And I always believe that whatever you have is for humans. So please do the best you can for the humans to benefit from you. Today, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to talk on promoting integrity as a way of fighting corruption in our midst is none other than the Director, Aminu Kano, Center for Democratic Studies, Bayero University, Kano. We are quite proud of him, and I used to call him in just simple terms. I used to remove the habu, and I just call the best constituency where he comes from, where you have a number of professors that surpass all the 44 local government in Kano we have. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Professor Abu Muhammad Fage is our guest speaker today. Please a round of applause for him as we listen to him in just 20 minutes. Yes, 20 minutes. That was what I was told. That 20 minutes is slated for him to do justice to his presentation, and thereafter we'll make comments, if you so wish, make very nice questions. But don't forget, those two people are already at hand to discuss the paper. The guest speaker, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Professor Usman Yusuf, former Minister of Sports, representative of the security agencies and anti-corruption agencies in the Federation and Kano states in particular, a presidential aspirant and gubernatorial aspirant of the SDP, invited guests, members of the First Eastern Estate of Gari. Good morning. I was asked to make a presentation on this very important day, the day we are honoring one of the epitomes of discipline, integrity, hard working, and patriotism in the person of Daniel Ama, ASP, who was bribed in a society ACP, thank you so much for the ACP Daniel Ama, who has been bribed, but he failed to be bribed and decided not to be bribed at all. To the tune of $200,000 US. I remember when I was in the US, I hardly spent $100 in a week. But this man was given $200,000 US and he rejected. It gives me a great pleasure to say that CAJA has done us proud for organizing this grand occasion, because the organization has actually reiterated the saying in Romans chapter 13 verse 7 that give honor to whom it is due. It is also a remarkable day in the sense that the day showcases that Nigeria is one, irrespective of religion, sectional differences, traditional values that are divergent, as well as the various dichotomies that we know Nigeria is known for. Let me quickly go into the context and subject of my presentation, which is promoting integrity as a way of fighting corruption. For us to understand this topic, let us just see that can integrity be used to fight corruption? The answer is yes. But before we go and answer this question, I would like to say that integrity, by definition, is both philosophical, legal, moralistic, attitudinal, sociological, and indeed it is being dictated by the manner and mannerism of an individual. A person of integrity, according to the National Ethics and Integrity Policy, which was signed by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2020, integrity comprises of some major features, some of which include responsive and responsiveness, patriotism, accountability, due process, respect, trustworthiness, as well as agreement with one's environment. But if we go beyond these definitions, you will find out that a man or woman of integrity has the following characteristics, which I have to go through. Integrity is a function of moral values, belief system, ideals, and the sanctity of adhered principles. 2. Integrity is not only about honesty, but it is also the quality of a person's character. Integrity is safeguarded by whoever is upholding it. Integrity is a personal trait which is built over time through positive socialization and the development of social values. People with integrity neither compromise standard nor circumvent conventional and rational means of goal attainment. People with integrity sacrifice today for the tomorrow of others. A person with integrity thrives under any circumstances because his power lies in his honesty, his wisdom, his light, and truth. Integrity is self-respect and respect of others. Integrity can be lost completely, and when this happens, it can hardly be recovered. Men and women of integrity are impartial, pragmatic, and have their ways when others refuse to weigh the truth. The actions of men or women of integrity do not constitute docility or the expression of fear, but involve the act of exercising caution for rational choice. Integrity is humility in disguise, honesty in action, and accountability in practice. Leadership without integrity, therefore, represents the highest form of lawlessness and bad governance. If you look at these qualities, you can now conclude by saying that Nigeria is not bereft of people of integrity. But the only thing that I can assure you is that people with integrity are very scarce, particularly in an environment where money is being worshipped, particularly in an environment where we respect materialism instead of honoring virtues. It is important to understand that in Nigeria, as indeed other parts of the world, we have people of impeccable character. Today, if you mention the names of Che Guevara, or you mention the name of Fidel Castro, Mao Zedong, Tafawa Balewa, Barack Obama, Mother Teresa, and the rest of them, you know you are speaking to the bottom of integrity. And if we look around, whether in your local government, in your states, or in your relationship with many other people, you can find one or two people of integrity. But there is a popular saying in Hausa which says that in the Mbuya baya Jumai, meaning that if the bad overshadows the good, we always see the bad as only the guiding principle of our life. What Amma demonstrated today is that he is a good omen for Nigeria, not only for the security agency that he is working, but for all and sundry. Now, the technical aspect of this presentation lies in the fact that we have plentiful resources in this country, but the number of poor people in Nigeria represents more than half of the total population of the country. There are countries that are not better than Nigeria in terms of resources, in terms of landmass, in terms of whatever it takes to develop, but today they are being considered as one of the best places to go. You mentioned Lesotho, Rwanda, Ethiopia, although they are somehow bedeviled in crisis, a country like Ethiopia, but you will find out that integrity doesn't respect the economy. Integrity doesn't respect population. Integrity doesn't respect high number of educated people. If we agree, then we ask ourselves, why is it that in places like Niger Republic, people are afraid of the law? Corruption is not very high, etc., etc. So the saddest thing about Nigeria is the fact that we have all what it takes to develop, but for corruption and lack of display of integrity in governance by our leaders, and indeed lack of commitment to integrity by our society. If you look at these two, you now say that Corruption in Nigeria today has become a canker, so much so that many people are saying that if you don't want to, or if you cannot fight them, please join them. So much so that, again, people are waiting for their turn to loot the economy. I can authoritatively tell you that with the support of the anti-graft institutions, a lot of cases of corruption have been apprehended, culprits have been convicted, but yet we have a long way to go. In 61 years, 582 billion dollars has been lost to corruption in Nigeria in 61 years. Corruption has taken more than 30% of our GDP today. And indeed, while the fight against corruption is going on monumentally, new forms of sophisticated forms of corruption are coming up. You will bear with me that corruption knows no bound, knows no religion, knows no party divide, knows no color or race. People who are ready to siphon the resources of this country know themselves. We may see them apart, but they are always together. But the funny part of it is that the society is always celebrating them, giving them chieftaincy titles, honors, and what have you. That is why I am always supporting the cause of this meeting when we are honoring one of us that has demonstrated highest form of good character, integrity, and personal sacrifice. I believe that Nigeria, and indeed many other parts of the country are one, but I do believe that if we want to make Nigeria great and greater than any other nation on earth, we have to actually do away with corruption. If other countries, leaders could sarcastically tell us that we are fantastically corrupt nation on earth, we go around, look at what is going on. You will find out that corruption can never, ever happen without the political commitment and goodwill to stop it at the level of leadership. That is why we are saying leadership, by example, is one of the major desiderator in meeting corruption in the world. When I say leadership, I know many of you will just look at the federal government. No. Leadership in your family, leadership in your office, leadership in your civil society organization, leadership in all facets of organizational endeavor. Leaders have the right to ensure that integrity is instilled in the minds of those that are under them. And they have to display whatever they do in good light, so that people can now emulate and ensure that corruption is brought to its barest minimum level or completely arrested. Therefore, as far as I'm concerned, and then the context or the thesis of this paper is that we can fight corruption in two ways, or integrity can help in fighting corruption in two ways. One, when we have good leadership. Leadership here is expected to be governed by responsiveness needed to ensure that the rule of law is practiced. There is no impunity. With apology to members of the EFCC, I always have doubt that fighting corruption in Nigeria can yield fruits without undertaking a somewhat no peer, no mercy principle. How on earth those that were caught, apprehended, and convicted for corruption were given presidential pardon? For that matter, I'm sorry I have to be bold. How on earth would that be a panacea to corrupt-free society? Up to today, time without number, the EFCC is doing its best to apprehend. In fact, in less than 5 years, over $900 billion of assets were recovered. Ask me, are the money accounted for? We need to ask all these questions. They do their work, but the work is left for the leadership to actually execute. For execution of the work that will fight corruption is that which always leads Nigeria down the line of corruption. Every now and then, I remember during the period of military rule, Nigeria was second to Bangladesh as the most corrupt country in the world, going by Transparency International Corruption Perception Index. But today, we were actually told that from 2015 to date, things will be better because we voted for a political party that will actually promote integrity and change. Nigerians are wallowed in poverty while people are cutting away our resources. If you take a look at one thing, constituency project alone, it has been indicated by this ICPC that between 2000 and 2018, Nigeria actually budgeted 2 trillion naira to addressing the support grassroots development through constituency projects. Believe you me, some projects have not been done. The money for the projects were collected. Some projects started, they were abandoned halfway. In some cases, some projects that are supposed to be based on quarterly basis have not been done completely. So the crux of the matter is that, as the EFCC representative mentioned, we are sooner or later going to the fore. We have credible people who are contesting for election. What you all need to do for Nigeria as a credible citizen is actually to sit down and be cautious about who to vote. this is the task that we do. I can say corruption can be fought head on only if stakeholders come together and agree to work together. Integrity, on the other hand, can be instilled in the minds of the young, the old, and any other person when leaders of high repute are elected and mobilize society to resist and sanction corrupt public officers. 4, stakeholders in the fight against corruption help to persevere and consistently mount a campaign against corruption and give honor to whom it is due, for the public servants and other citizens who demonstrate anti-graft attitude in their conduct. There is the need to introduce a curriculum that teaches integrity and anti-corruption courses at secondary schools to catch them at young. There is also the need to set up integrity clubs in secondary schools and higher institutions so that we can nurture, instill, and institutionalize the culture of integrity. So, media outfits should have to sustain the fight against corruption, regardless of any let or hindrance. Whistleblowers should continue to blow their whistles through various avenues, one of which has been clearly discussed by the representative of the EFCC, the Eagle Eye. When that is done, there is also the need to make the whistleblowing policy less stringent, for people to blow their whistles and at the same time expose corruption in this country. Thank you.
He's trying to put in our time, not knowing that he is concluding his presentation. Please, let's appreciate him one more time. We really appreciate you, sir. And I believe we have been well impacted from his presentation. Permit me very quickly, before we listen to the 2 key selected people to discuss this paper in 10 minutes. As I said, one is already in our midst, and the other one is also in our midst, but via Zoom. Let me recognize our royal father of the day, His Highness the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Ado Bayero, CFR, Alhaji Idan Sarki, Alhaji Ara Sarki Lafiya, Alhaji Chikami Wataba, Alhaji Ado Bayero, Alhaji Chikami Babban Daki, Alhaji Idan Sarki Alhaji, Alhaji Chikam Mai Girma Babanmu Kakanmu Dan Masanin Kano. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, wearing the cap of His Highness the Emir of Kano is Mai Girma Dan Masanin Kano, Alhaji Abdul Qadir Maitama Sule. Please, a round of applause for him. There are so many engagements, but the fact that he has a passion and love for what CAJA organizes, he decided to be here, and I believe immediately after this place, to be on his way to Lagos. Having recognized him, let me also very quickly, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, recognize another distinguished people in our midst with a powerful delegation of a presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Prince Adewale Adebayo. Please, a round of applause. Next to him is Madam Engineer Yusuf Salisu Buhari, the Vice Presidential candidate. Please, a round of applause. Also on turret is Barrister Honorable Solomon Taron, DG Campaign who has been with us for a very long time. And today, when he learned that his presidential candidate is on the ground, he said, son, the place where I find myself is very, very important, not to me, but to you also as a person, as we're all politicians and good Nigerians who are patriotic to serve this country. So will you please come? He said, yes, Taron, I'll be here. And he is here. On the other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is distinguished Senator Odochukwu Oba, Member Presidential Campaign Council. Please, a round of applause for him. Also is the SDP gubernatorial candidate, my elder brother, one-time commissioner, and indeed very kind and generous. No doubt, he says, I've done so much right from when I was young, following the late Abakirini, Mana Amina Kano, and all others who are the pioneers and champions of democracy in Kano, Nigeria. It's time for me to vie for the governorship of the good people of Kano. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Kano State SDP gubernatorial candidates in person of our Honorable Bala Mohammed. The next is the gubernatorial deputy in person of our Honorable Habibu Sabo. Also the product is Sir Patrick Anetua, Member PCC. Please, a round of applause for him. Also the product is the SDP State Chairman, Madam Ali Shatima. Please, a round of applause for him. Also the product is Dr. or rather Pastor Ade Alabu, Member PCC. Please, a round of applause for him. And last but not the least is Pastor Light Adoko, who is also a PCC member. Please, a round of applause for him. And last but not the least, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is the Honorable Member vying for the seat of Rimin Gado Tofa constituency, the famous Honorable Engineer Amislam. Please, a round of applause for him. Well, thank you, sir. Really appreciate you to be part of this great history in the making, where we are talking about promoting integrity as a way of fighting corruption. Thank God you had the lecture by the guest speaker. Now is a turn for the two discussants to discuss the paper, and I'm happy that the second discussant is already at hand via Zoom, but we'll have to start with the person already at hand. Yes, I'm particularly referring to no one else, but the former Minister of Sports Development of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I've said so many things about him, but I will say, please, a round of applause for that man that always believes in red power and symbolizes peace, unity, and understanding of Nigeria and Nigerians. The law of that time.
A great thinker once argued that all it takes for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing about it. We are today captives of a clique of evil people who are holding the mirror of our values. And because they are holding the mirror of our values, we are who we are by their various characters that is reflected in the mirror. So there is a general saying in Nigeria that Nigerians are corrupt. We have also accepted and endorsed it that it is difficult to find a good man in Nigeria. Today, if we travel out of this country, we are given the treatment of criminals. Nigerians are harassed and beaten in countries that are even not up to the smallest state in Nigeria. Nigerians are already in hell here. And I don't know whether God will be too kind and merciful for them to create a space to accommodate them in heaven. It is not true that Nigerians are corrupt. And it is also not true that Nigerians are fantastically corrupt. Since I arrived here, I've been fighting tears. Fighting tears because out of 220 million Nigerians, a minute group of a political class, who I refer to them as political bandits, have kidnapped our values. They have kidnapped everything that belongs to us. They even kidnap the goodness in us. And all we do on a daily basis is to pay them ransom through daily suffering. And as they continue to suffer, and they continue to kill people, they continue to abduct people, they continue to even rape women and their children in front of their daughters and families. This insensitive political clique continue to present Nigeria as a nation of comedy. They travel to other countries, and all they can do for Nigeria is to go there and begin to dance in their hotels and their restaurants. And as they continue to dance, the country bleeds on daily basis. Hausawa suka ce, idan ka ga mutum yana wayo Allah, wayo Allah, wayo Allah, kada ka ji tausayin shi ba tukuna. Ka bincika mai yiwa abin da ya sa shi kukan nan shi ya jawo wa kansa. Nigerians are where we are today because we bargain for what we have. I don't want to blame Nigerians. I don't want to do that because they are even not to blame. And if we don't know where to place the blame of the Nigerian problem, then we are dishonest. We run a federal system where there is a sovereign who subscribes the oath of office. He is the custodian of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He is the commander-in-chief that is in charge of the territory defined as Nigeria. Indeed, he defined our values. Meaning that if you have a Nigerian president that is a Christian, the national values of the Christian should represent the humility of Jesus Christ. He should be a leader with compassion. If you have a leader that is a Muslim, oh my good God, we should see the life of Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah represented in the lives of Nigerians. A messenger of God who, when he passed on, and there was a gathering in the mosque in Medina, and Abu Bakr, Rasulullah asked, is there anybody that the prophet is indebted to? And a Christian came forward and said, the messenger of God collected money from me, but he collected the money and gave it to another person who was in need. And so Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ya karba bashi ba domin biyan bukatar iyalinsa ba domin jin daɗi ba domin komai ba, domin ya biya bukatar ma bukata. Wannan ita ce shugabancin arziki. You cannot be in the villa and be worshiping on Friday in the mosque, and you cannot borrow money to give a Nigerian who needed money. You will be an opposite representation of what we know as leadership in Islam. You will not be a Christian leader if you go into the villa and you begin to divide Nigeria. You promote corruption. Your wife is owning properties all over the world. Your children are schooling out of the country. When you have headache, you go out of the country for treatment. While Nigerians cannot afford Panadol, you are not representing Christianity. Therefore, we have a conspiracy in the political elite that have recognized our vulnerability. They realize that Nigerians are God-fearing people. And the only thing they can use to manipulate Nigeria is that you see them looking very, very godly, but indeed they are worse than the devil. We are talking about fighting corruption with integrity. The only weapon that every young man and young woman said here that is needed to defeat corruption is not the anti-graft agencies. But young people must imbibe that quality, the qualities of integrity. And integrity means truthfulness, hard work, selflessness, love, tolerance, etc. If you are an extremist, you don't have integrity. If you are a religious bigot, you don't have integrity. If you are an ethnicist, you don't have integrity. And if you are a pretender, you don't have integrity. Therefore, I want to wind it down by saying that the Nigerian police is not corrupt. I want to say it again, that the Nigerian police is not what? Corrupt. Is not what? Corrupt. Please, the policeman should stand up. Daniel, stand up. Please stand up. That is the Nigerian police. Anybody who is not looking like Daniel is not a Nigerian police, it's a Nigerian criminal. From today, nobody should tell me that the police are what? Corrupt. Because there is a policeman standing there. Do we agree that there is a policeman? Yes. Do we agree? Yes. Did he collect a bribe? No. So if anybody is collecting bribe, is he a policeman? No. So, Donna. We cannot use the masquerade of evil people and wear it on everybody's face. That is a policeman. Our police are not corrupt. If we have criminal gangs in the police, if we have criminals in the army, we have criminals in EFCC, we have criminals in ICPC, they are not ICPC police or army. They are criminals. Go there with their name. Barao yana da suna yana da dangile. Barao na da yare. Yana da yanwa. Sai da bayan yanwa su. I won my seat, I want to stand in solidarity with modest Nigerians and to tell the young people that are here that let us live the life of Sadona, the life of Kano, the life of Tafa Balewa. Lokacin da aka kashe Sadona, an zo za a kwashe iyalin Sadona zuwa Sokoto. Babu kudin za a kwashe kayan shi. Wani aminin sa ne ya fidda kudi ya bayar aka kwashe iyalinsa zuwa Sokoto. Idan kina so ki zama mutumin kirki, ki koyi halin Kambosawa. Idan kana so ka zama mutumin kirki arewa, ka koyi halin Sadona, halin Amerika, halin Tafa Balewa. Amma idan kuma kun je kuna koyi halin barayi, kuna musu rawa, kuna musu kiri, suna zalunce ku, to kasar nan ba za ta je ku kai na ba. Ubangiji Allah ya bayan Najeriya nasara akan yabo.
Amin.
He does this so much as expected. Please, shall we give him a rousing applause for President all. That is the man of the moment, Honorable Solomon Sokka Dalong. Instilled in someone's heart in our midst, because I get to understand that his words are so sweet, just like his needs. No doubt, he decided to sit with us, believe in us, confide in us, and wanting to, at least, even if we said no, I, as the anchor man, I that hold the aids in this event, will say yes, 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 3 in a row. So we please give that honor to one of our special guests, the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Prince Adewale Adebayo. Sir, in just 2 minutes, let's hear those good words of yours within your heart. It's not easy for one to clamor for a presidential candidate of a country like Nigeria, the mother of all Africans.
Thank you, members of the high table, the honoree, and ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm very happy. My aim for coming here was just to see the man. When I was told the story, I read about it, I went, our DJ told me, I said, look, me, I will see the man. Because so this man is the future of Nigeria. And that's why I was lucky to sit in front and look at the man. And the topic of today is promoting integrity as a way of fighting corruption. I think that the title was great too. Promoting integrity as a way of national development. So, 5 things I will say in the 2 minutes. One is that fighting corruption is not difficult. It's like sleeping and waking up. For a lazy person to take that decision to wake up is very hard. But once you wake up, the day starts. Fighting corruption is in 2 ways. One, fighting corruption within government. That one, the government should do. We are getting something wrong in Nigeria. Government cannot fight corruption in Nigeria. Government can only fight corruption inside government. Why we have failed is that government is not fighting corruption inside government, but it's fighting corruption in other people's bedroom. So we'll change that. Secondly, the Nigerian does not want corruption, but he doesn't want to be cheated. Because the system must have integrity, not only one individual. The system also has integrity. That is to say, when the thief is caught, it is not only the person catching the thief that is now fighting the thief. The whole community, if they side with the thief, The person who caught the thief today will not catch the thief tomorrow. So asking individuals to have integrity without the society itself showing integrity will not work. 3, corruption is dangerous to institutions. Every institution that we can use to fight corruption, corruption will capture it. All the 3 arms of government, even the media, that my brother said we should give freedom to Dr. Jackie, that we should give freedom to the press. Sometimes, if the press is corrupt, they will misuse it. So we must watch out to see that institutions, including religious institutions, the thieves sit in the front, and hardworking people sit at the back when you go to the mosque or you go to the church. So you have to make sure that institutions are not captured. 3, what we are doing today is very good. But if we do it in Switzerland, they will laugh at us. If we do it in other countries, they will laugh at us. Because in their country, every policeman is like this. So if you are able to single our own policeman for award, then the system is broken. So we need to work towards that and use this gentleman, Daniel, as a connecting rod to go and make sure we sanitize the system. Last point that I'll make is this. It's a matter of choices. Our people know how to get good policemen. But the problem facing the police, we've not had a problem before, whether it's Camp Silent, whether it is MD Yusuf, many of them always have good policemen. We have no problem. The problem is that there is a war we need to resolve. There is a fight between the police and the government. A good police means that people in government will go to jail. That is why they look around for bad policemen to put on top of the good policemen. We pray that the next government will not be a government that is fighting the police. Thank you.
All protocol duly observed. Like correctly heard, my name is Rabi Yusuf MON of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I am pleased and honored for this opportunity given to me. Many people have spoken, but I felt promoting integrity cannot be completed without calling the attention of the women. Except for one person that said the women should behave as Wamba. I just want to chip in something because I even asked for this time. I want the women here to know that we, the women, are the major stakeholders in promoting integrity. Why? Because we gave birth to every man here. We gave birth to the women as well. I know that some women are also corrupt because we have heard stories of women that stole a huge amount of money. But then the woman should learn from the grassroots, from the home, how to nurture a man not to be corrupt. How to nurture a man to be of high integrity. How to nurture a man to be a good citizen, to serve the nation the way he is supposed to. The women here I can see are youths, and most of them maybe are married or are yet to be married. Don't go for any man that will entice you with money, because you don't know how he got the money. You don't know where he got the money. And again, I would like to call the attention of the girls that are ready to get married, or the little girls that are already married, 20 and above, 18 and above. Learn how to make your child, right from day one, teach him not to be greedy. Teach him over that. And you know how much he's collecting, but then you bring all your family to the house, all your neighbors, the man will be suffering because of you. From there, he will go into stealing. Women, especially the young women I'm talking about. And older women also should call the attention of their sons, their husband. Please, where are you getting this money from? It is too much. I think I will stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My prof, my lecturer, Abu Mohammed Fagid. Let me simply say, I wish to recognize all the people to whom an special reference is due, and that is all of you gathered here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, we must raise the bridge that carried us over. Let me acknowledge that these success stories were never born out of lone effort. There are eminent personalities with us, and those before us that we drew our inspiration from. Those with inexorable predilection towards excellence. We must remain grateful to them for the solid foundation they laid that has since become the foundation of our principle. Alfred North Whitehead was spot on when he equipped that no one who achieves success does so without acknowledging the help of others. The wise and the confident acknowledge this help with gratitude. In this regard, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to pay special tribute to the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba Siafa, for his mentorship, incisive and exemplary leadership that is making it easy for us to thrive in this daunting task of conquering our country of all forms of criminalities. Also, my deepest gratitude goes to CAJA, the organizers of this special occasion, for finding the Nigerian police force, and me in particular, worthy for this prestigious award. I have no doubt in my mind that with the heraldry of police present here today, I have no doubt that our beloved country is trotting on the pedestrian to greatness, as it has created all the trails and trappings of hope. The sacrifice to pay for our collective good is enormous, ladies and gentlemen. It therefore requires collective efforts from each and every individual's vocation of life. In the midst of my career, I was meant to understand that to give real service and dedication, one must have something which cannot be bought or measured with money, and that is sincerity and integrity. As Dennis widely rightly said, a life lived with integrity, even if it lacks the trappings of fame and fortune, is a shining star in whose lights others may follow in the years to come. A mode of conduct, a standard of courage, discipline, fortitude, and integrity can do a great deal in redirecting our country towards the path of greatness. Let our love for our country not be a short and frenzied outburst of emotions, but the tranquil and steady dedication of a lifetime. In view of this, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we need a type of patriotism that recognizes the virtues of those who are opposed to us. Let us not mistrust the future. Dangers have been in frequent ambush along our path, but we have uncovered and were uncovering and vanquishing them all. We shall therefore find unalloyed pleasure in the future of this great country of ours again. The journey is not always smooth, I must acknowledge. We have seldom been called to question, but we remain committed, acknowledging the fact that all actions and inactions come with responsibilities. The work of law enforcement agents as a state institution of social control becomes inevitable. This simply implies there could not be us without you, likewise you without us. But in our best possible ways, we must strive against all odds to work harmoniously with each other for a greater good for our dear country. Accordingly, I call on all my respected colleagues at all circumstances to assert the dignity and integrity of our profession, without which the rule of law, the most valuable part of our Constitution, can have no existence. Furthermore, we are urged to understand that there are many people who know much more than what we do, even in our various professions. So we are to listen to them. Integrity, on the other hand, is critical to leadership. So I believe there must always be alignment between what you think, say, and do. Mark Golson was right when he admonishes us. Know what is important and what is not. Have the wisdom to know the right thing to do, the integrity to do it, the character to sum up to those who do not, and the courage to stop those who will not. I firmly believe that with determined zeal to make things right and the unwavering commitment of beloved Nigerians, this country will surely be a home to all of us. We must, however, not going to rest on our oars, as this important step comes with higher responsibility. Nelson Mandela was succinct enough when he stated that after climbing a great hill, one only finds out that there are many more hills to climb. One achievement obliges one to higher achievement. With a good conscience, our only sure reward, with history the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking his blessings and his help, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own. May God bless you all. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
While we congratulate him on this feat, please another round of applause for him to appreciate him tomorrow. Congratulations. Thank you very much. His appreciation, I believe, serves as a food for thought to all of us, because he has said so many things that really touches our minds. Now that we have heard of him,
nasara da aka samu ba nawa bace. Ina mika ma shugabanmu na 'yan sanda Inspector General Usman Alkali Baba, wanda in ba dan tarbiyyar da yake mana ba duk haka ba za ta kasance ba. So wannan award da farin ciki da aka samu na ba dedicating masa da kuma duk al'ummar 'yan sanda gaba daya da duk 'yan kasa gaba daya.
Kamar wannan zai kara wa sauran 'yan sanda ƙwarin gwiwa kake ganin ko?
Kamar yadda nake faɗa, ba ni bane kadai, akwai irin mu dubu dubai a cikin aikin. Kawai dai nasu bata riga ta zo fili ba, amma ina mai tabbatar maka al'ummar 'yan sanda suna nan da yawa wanda suka yi abin da ya fi nawa ma. Kawai dai ba a riga an ji bane. Kuma ina tabbatar maka ta karkashin jagorancin shi IG, there's no room, ba wanda yake so ya ji abu mara daɗi ba. Dama in kai abin kirki a yabe ka, in kai mara kirki mutane da yawa kuna gani ko ne 'yan jarida kullum ana koran mutane wanda ya abu ba daidai ba. So ina bai tabbatar maka mutane wannan shugabancin yana goyon bayan irin wannan abubuwan sosai, kuma baya son duk abin da ya zama wanda ba daidai ba kai.
So, assalamu alaikum. Sunana Kabiru Dakata, babban daraktan cibiyar wayar da kan al'umma kan shugabanci na gari da tabbatar da adalci wato CAJA. To, kamar yadda kowa ya sani akwai hanyoyi daban-daban da ake amfani da su gurin yaƙi da cin hanci da rashawa, amma dai wanda aka fi sani, wanda aka fi a hukumance, shine wanda ake kama masu laifi, hukunta su ta hanyar zuwa kotu a musu hukunci. Amma kuma a gefe ɗaya a kowaɗanne irin ɓangarori, musamman ma'aikatu na gwamnati, akwai wasu mutane wanda suke kyamatar cin hanci, suna yin abu kamar yadda doka ta tanada, suna iya bakin ƙoƙarinsu ganin cewa sun yi komai na daidai. Irin waɗannan mutanen da ya kamata a ce al'umma tana yaba abin da suke, an yi watsi da su, sai ya kasance irin wannan bajimta ɗin da ake yi wani lokaci kamar ma ba a yaba ta. So sai muka ga cewa akwai buƙatar zaƙulo irin waɗannan mutane domin a karrama su, in ya so al'umma ta gani ita ma ta jajirce gurin cewa an yi abin da ya kamata na fito da waɗanda suke kyamatar cin hanci da rashawa, ana karrama su domin mutane su ma su yaba. So wannan shine a takaice abin da muka yi. Akwai ɗan sanda Daniel Ama, wanda a kwanakin baya wata mas'ala ta cin hanci ta taso, aka ba shi cin hanci har na kuɗi dala Amurka 200,000, amma kuma ya ƙi karɓa saboda ganin cewa in aka yi hakan zai saba ƙa'idar aikin shi. So sai muka ga mutane irin shi akwai buƙatar a karrama su, domin ko ba komai duniya za ta gani, kuma mu 'yan Najeriya dama sunan mu ya ɓaci a duniya, amma idan aka ce akwai mutane irin su, so ba shakka wannan abin za a canja shi daga negative zuwa positive.